President Biden is slated here a meeting with the top leaders of Congress for the first time, and expectations not necessarily very high in terms of what could come from the talks. Of course, a large bridge there to gap with the talks ongoing when it comes to the infrastructure plans. And for more on that, I want to bring on Yahoo Finance's Jessica Smith, who's been tracking all things politics for us there in Washington, D.C. Jess?
Yeah, Zach, in any minute now, President Biden is going to meet with Speaker Pelosi, Majority Leader Schumer, and Republican leaders McConnell and McCarthy. This is the first time that the four leaders have met with the president in the White House. And they say that the goal here is to find areas where there might be bipartisan agreement. Of course, infrastructure is top of mind. Republicans have largely been opposed to President Biden's infrastructure plan, but they're looking to see if there are any areas where they might be able to work together. The White House says that it wants this effort to be bipartisan. They also want to see progress on this bill by Memorial Day. So maybe after this meeting today and then the meeting with Republicans tomorrow, we'll start to get a sense of if Democrats are going to have to move on this on their own through reconciliation like they did with the rescue plan. So far, there has been little sign of compromise. But another issue that might come up today where there actually is some bipartisan agreement is competition with China. And one of the bills that may come up is the Endless Frontier Act that is led by Majority Leader Schumer and Senator Todd Young of Indiana, a Republican. Right now, a Senate committee is voting on this bill. They're considering the bill. So far, there have been almost 100 amendments accepted on this piece of legislation over the past couple of weeks as lawmakers have really worked on this. They're still debating it right now. And what this bill would do is pour more than $100 billion into science and technology research with the goal of helping the U.S. compete with China. Now, I did talk to Senator Young about this bill, and he's optimistic about it getting through the Senate. He says Congress has no choice but to act. Let's watch.
Waiting any longer to act and act boldly will just lead to us being surpassed by the Chinese Communist Party or lead to the gap between the United States and China in some of these areas becoming much closer than we would like. So there's a real, what I will call an opportunity cost, a cost to waiting that we can't afford to make.
Now, the bill could come up for a full Senate vote sometime by the end of the month. The timeline is still fluid here. And again, that's if it does make it out of committee today. This bill could also be included in a larger China package that has other diplomatic and political issues addressed and measures to address the chip shortage. But if it does pass the Senate, it still has to make it to the House before heading to the president's desk. Zach Nikiko.
Jess, when you think about how the Biden administration has approached competition with China, it feels like the focus has really been on investing in research and technology in the U.S. You talk about $100 billion in this bill. What's the tolerance for something like that right now? I mean, cracking down on China seems like a bipartisan issue, but it does feel like both parties are still going at it from a different angle.
Yeah, we have heard from Republicans in this debate right now saying that they don't want to compete with China with money borrowed from China. So, of course, spending is always going to be an issue when you're talking to Republicans here on this issue. But we are seeing that there is bipartisan support around this idea. There is a bipartisan bill in the House as well. So this is much more bipartisan than we typically hear on some of these issues. This is something that might actually make it to the president's desk. It's a big if still, but there is more progress on this one than many of the other issues that we talk about every day.
Okay, and I know you're watching that vote for us, Jess. We'll have an update as soon as it comes in. Thanks so much for that.